exposure on the IT activities in Bengal. I'm going to go look at the innovation. Innovation is the key to the information technology. And it is one technology that doesn't remain static. It's very dynamic. Look at all the technologies which I have seen. We looked about the floppies, we looked about the variety CDs, all those pieces of equipment has gone down the drain. New pieces of equipment has come, and the capacities are very, very large. Similarly, we are seeing the way which we compute, the way we use the facilities, and we are coming as everything as a service, hardware, as a service, software, as a service, and we are talking about the terminologies called cloud computing and all those areas to make our life easier, to tap the resources, those which we require for us to perform certain tasks, so that economics works and you're able to access these facilities wherever you want, whenever you want, whatever ways you want to access them. You will see a change as we go along because as the technology is dynamic. The PCs which you are talking about today are going to slowly go down. In fact, recently there was an article. Is PC is a past thing? Some people say yes, some people say no. Today, we're talking about iPads, e-books, all sorts of iPhones, a variety of devices which not only perform the main task which is meant for them, but they also perform a variety of applications. And today's research and innovation is the development of this application which we call apps in this particular area. That's the fundamental thing which we see there. You're going to change a lot of those things, the hardware-wise, which we see enormous changes. And for example, the first scenario which we are seeing, the iPad is a huge success. And it is going to see a variety of mechanisms, changes, which will happen in that particular segment. So that we're talking about desktops, PCs, laptops, all those things which are slowly going to go away and come up with the new scenarios. But as we go on increasing these particular devices, because today we no longer talk about snail mail, I don't know how many of us write letters. Email is becoming the in thing for us. Email is the way in which we communicate. And I don't think I've written a letter in the last 5 years, any letter to anybody except official letters which we sign. Most of the letter goes in the email format. Similarly, we are talking about paying the bills is concerned. Use the website to pay the bills. To the Govt of India, a lot of activities are performed. You're applying for a passport, paying for income tax is concerned, applying for a birth certificate or death certificate. All those activities which are performed to the computer. We're trying to make our life better in using the technology. And this technology becomes more and more to a day-to-day life as and when you get the better power situation, better communication system, better devices which you can use them whenever you want and where you want. That's what we're going to say. So innovation is going to be the key area to those things. When you increase our life, when you put out, for example, today, I don't know how many of you maintain albums. Most of the albums have been converted into photostats because there is one of the places where you keep all your albums there, history there. I have seen some people taking all the certificate digitized and putting them in Picasso and other applications concerned. So it became a store test. In fact, you will see the longer run, all our educational qualifications will be lying in one of the computers, and if you want applying for a job or for some other place, you ask please access, give the access to the particular place, access those certificates from it, rather than physically giving them the certificates, because it becomes costly to send it, it's going to be time consuming, and it's all the process. So we are looking at an area where these things can be performed much easier. As you can go and more you say of these particular things, the life has become very convenient. We come into the area of the security. As Minister talked about it, security is vital. The security of not only the information which you are trying, first fundamental aspect which becomes essential for us when you're performing, when you're trying to put our life into the cyber, because we are transiting from the physical scenario to the cyberspace, and the whole of our life social gatherings all taking place on the social websites, etc. When you are transiting from here to the physical space to the virtual space, security and privacy becomes very, very essential. A lot of innovation is required in the particular area. For example, how do you know who is sending the mail to you? By just looking at the mail address, you cannot conclude the mail has come from a particular gentleman. It's quite possible any can generate any mail address using my name, N.Vijayaditya, at some gmail.com. He can create any mail address. It's not necessary from me. You can create it to anybody else. So you cannot, by looking at the mail address, you can conclude the mail has come from certain way. So identity of the, like in the physical space, you've got a picture, you've got a person's signature which identifies you. Similarly, you require a mechanism for us to identity authentication of the individual. This is the fundamental things which are required as we are transiting from the physical world to the virtual space. The second aspect which also becoming, how do you ensure the transactions which you are performing on the system or the integrity, the contents of integrity is maintained. In the physical space, we have every piece of paper which you think we need to put our signature. Signature is a sacrosanct, and by signature you can say that gentleman has read the content, because legally speaking, when somebody puts a piece of his signature on a piece of paper, what legally it means that I read the content, I agree with the content, I fully endorse the content. That's what it means when you put your signature on a piece of paper. So when you go to the cyberspace, into the virtual space, you need to convert all these characteristics into the virtual space also. You need to have a mechanism by which somebody sends a particular content that he says, I know the content which I sent, I agree with the content, I endorse the contents necessary. There it becomes very essential. And you have to also make sure, because so many thieves are there on the cyberspace, lots of people are taking lots of information, catching the information with wireless technologies and other, you want to make sure integrity of the data is also maintained. You require a mechanism to do that. Some people think about biometric is the solution to all these problems. Biometrics will enable you to do the identity of the individuals. It not necessarily gives the integrity of the data which you are trying to transmit. So we need to innovate. You need to multimodal biometric systems needs to be created. And we also need to create algorithms and mechanisms for us to create a basically to ensure the integrity of the data. The algorithms that are required to maintain the integrity of the data. These are all innovations which needs to take place. So a lot of research work is required in the mathematical framework, in the statistical framework, and the electronic framework, the storing of those things. For example, today we carry a lot of information, but I don't know how many of you use the digital signature. The digital signature is carried on the laptop. It's one of the most dangerous things to do to your signature on the laptop. Because if somebody can easily access your laptop system in a variety of ways and catches your signature, legally you're tied to whatever transaction has been done using that particular signature of yours. So it's very essential for you not to keep your signature on your laptop. You need to create, that's what we said, the act very clearly says, keep your signature onto a crypto device, which is a fixed compliance device which you need to put it, so that this no